in Georgia, following in the wake of really, in many ways, very surprising, at least to the outside world, wins by Democrats in Georgia in this last election cycle. The Republicans, who, remember, there are prosecutors in Georgia who are investigating Donald Trump's attempt to overturn the election. They realized, apparently, that attempting to overturn an election based upon the laws that existed as of 2 days ago was illegal. So they have changed the laws where they have essentially stripped the power of overseeing elections and given it to from elected representatives whose job it is to oversee elections, and given it to the Republican legislature. In other words, they were upset that Raffensperger, in many respects, did not act like Kemp did in his election against Stacey Abrams, which was he was the Secretary of State. He shut down a lot of polling places while he was also running as governor. And as you recall, Donald Trump asked Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, to overturn to keep counting and, overturn the election results in various counties in Georgia. And now what they've done is they have stripped whoever is functioning as Raffensperger. At this point, it's Raffensperger, but the Secretary of State.
Raffensperger, you said it 3 times, so I had to correct you.
It's, of course, I'm mispronouncing it.
Yes.
And now the state legislature can do this. This is on top of other voting restrictions that they have imposed, including making it criminal to provide water for people who are waiting in long lines. But here is waiting in long lines to vote. Here's Brian Kemp. And one wonders if he brought this up because he's dealing with the criticism, or if he thinks that there's value in him projecting this image of Jim Crow.
According to them, if you support voter ID for absentee ballots, you're a racist. According to them, if you believe in protecting the security and sanctity of the ballot box, you're a, quote, Jim Crow in a suit and tie, end quote. I've fought these partisan activists tooth and nail for over 10 years to keep our elections secure, accessible, and fair. Like before, I'm sure they will threaten, boycott, sue, demonize, and team up with their friends in the national media to call me everything in the book.
I think to a certain extent, part of this might be an attempt to sort of divert where the real power in this legislation is. It is, the more obvious stuff is the voter suppression. That is it depends on which studies you look at. Sometimes that can backfire, particularly in terms of who they're trying to suppress. But if you gain control over overturning the results and make that a function of the state legislature, as opposed to a would-be professional's office, it really doesn't matter whether your vote suppression tactics work or not, because you can turn around and change the results.
It calls into question what he means by, they're ostensibly trying to protect the security of the ballot box and the beauty of our elections by making it so that elected representatives are the ones who are responsible for stacking the committee that would be overseeing the elections. Like, you just don't have to look too far into it to see how backwards and purposely so this is.
Yeah, exactly. And we will talk more about this with Alex Perrine in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with said Alex Perrine from the New Republic.